Hello, everyone. John Bruna here with the Daily Quote. Thanks so much for joining me. Let's go ahead, get right to it. Everyone thinks of changing the world, but no one thinks of changing himself. That's from Leo Tolstoy. I can remember vividly seeing this quote for the first time. I was actually up in Aspen at the Aspen Institute, and there's a debut film, a documentary, and this quote popped up. And I realized so much of my own suffering and struggle in life is because I think others should be different than they are, that the world should be different than it is, and how things need to change. And how true this quote popped up, that I really wasn't focusing on how I could change. What can I do that will help me adapt to the world that I'm living in and in that way make a difference in the world? So much suffering takes place when we're arguing with people or yelling at people or complaining to our friends about how others are different or how the world is, well, suffering in ways that we need it to change. And the irony there is that I'm able to make a much bigger difference in the world by changing myself, by recognizing that first and foremost, everything that's happening in the world is because of how we treat each other, how we engage with each other, how we respond to each other. Do I see us and them, or do I see we and ours? Do I recognize that the life I get to live is because of countless others I've never met, and a lot of people I don't even like created the conditions for me to have the life that I have, the education I have, the freedoms I have? And likewise, do they recognize that a lot of their life is because of the things that I and people like me do, that we live together? And what I needed to do was change the way I view others, change the way I understand the world, and change my attitudes. That was the big key. Learning to see that there is value in others, even though they see things very different than me and do things that are actually very harmful. I actually recognize that in my own life, I've done many things that were harmful. And fortunately, I had people help me learn how to live and be a better human being than I used to be. And when I started to change my attitudes, change the way I engaged in the world, well, the world I get to live in has changed a bit. All of us have an opportunity to change the world, but we don't do that by trying to change others. I think we do that by changing the way we relate to others. Yeah. Sticking by our values, our principles, we don't change those. But we might look at how we relate to others and how we bring those valuable values and principles into the world. Maybe we can be a little more skillful. And in that way, maybe bring some more people sort of not on our side per se, but at least in discussion with, a part of, how we can all recognize our shared values and see if we can improve the world we're living in by improving the relationships that we have with each other. Hope you find this helpful. Let's be that change that we want to see in the world instead of just focusing on trying to change the world.